Riding a 9-match winning streak, the volleyball team hosts Minnesota, who was ranked number 1 in the most recent poll, on Wednesday at 8 p.m. on BTN. The Badgers then travel to Michigan to take on the 23rd ranked Wolverines on Saturday at 6 p.m. Head coach Kelly Sheffield is here. We'll have some opening comments and take questions.
Thanks. Looking forward and excited about another big challenge in front of us with Minnesota on Wednesday, and just getting prepared for them, watching a lot of film, and yesterday was the day off, and we're back in the gym this afternoon.
Minnesota had one of the premier players in the country last year, Dolly Santana.
Yeah.
They lose her, and they don't seem to have lost a beat. How have they adapted? How are they different in the way they do things from a year ago?
You're right. You're playing a team that's got 6 out of the 7 returning starters from a team that won the Big Ten and went to the Final Four, so they're very, very veteran team. They've got the 2 Tapp twins that are both seniors, and Sarah Wilhite on the left side, who's a senior, and those 3 have played a lot of matches. They've got a really talented setter. Their libero is one of the better ones in the country. In a middle that in Molly Lohman that you could kind of ignore for the first part of last year, and then the second part they really started getting her the ball, and now she's a real weapon for them. And they bring in one freshman that in Hart that is just extremely dynamic and very, very twitchy and can get on the ball in a hurry. They've got a lot of experience, and that kind of covers a lot of things. Yeah, they're missing a big arm, but what I'm seeing is a team that's actually better than what they were a year ago. They're more balanced, and the other players have just gotten better.
Besides being 2 of the best teams in the country, it is a matchup of 2 of the best setters, maybe the 2 best. How they compare, and obviously one better than the other, but how do they do things similarly or different?
Both setters, they've got a great supporting cast around both of them, and that certainly helps. And when you've got a good supporting cast around you, then the trust factor is a lot higher, And I think both Lauren and Sam, they trust their hitters, and which means that you're not just going to people when you're in perfect situations. You can use your creativity and your athleticism. Both setters like to, they're not just making the easy sets. Sam, when she's pulled off the net, loves to go quick in that situation. Lauren loves to go quick when she's off the net, and be able to set the long antenna when she's on the run. And when you don't trust your hitters, usually you start making a lot of simple sets. And so both setters are capable of making about every set there is. And probably, and it starts there. Both of them have a lot of confidence and skill to be able to execute those sets, but they have the pieces around them where they can use some of that creativity and athleticism and strength to get the ball anywhere on the court. Lot of similarities. Sam's done a great job. She's just a lot better setter than what she was a year ago, and I thought she was really good last year. You're right. It's 2 All-American setters leading their teams.
The other night, the players were talking about how they believe they can win every set, no matter how far they're down, and that's in some ways probably easier said than done. What have you instilled to make that happen?
It's confidence comes through, the work that you're putting in and the self-talk that I think those 2 are really, really important. That's what builds confidence. And then when you've come back before, when you've kind of your back's against the wall and you've kept swinging and good things happen, when you put yourself out there and there's a payoff at times, and it builds your confidence that you can do it again. But I think you've got to be great at you've got to be incredible at living in the moment. I mean, that's just, what do we have to do right here, right now? And, that's a really, really hard skill, because I think naturally you're just thinking about outcomes and what ifs and all kinds of just crap, that just gets in the way of being able to get keyed in on what's important. But we try our best to just, all right, what do we have to do right now? And if we can be really good right now, and we just pile more and more good on top of each other, you never know where that's going to take us. But our team's confident, and we're certainly not the only team that has that. But I really believe the confidence comes through the work that you're putting in on a daily basis.
Along those lines, you have had so many comebacks, be it at Texas or at Purdue or that third set against Illinois. Is that just confidence, or is that being in that situation and knowing they can do it?
Certainly, we've had a little bit of help in those situations. You've got to play clean. Whether you're behind or you're trying to finish off, you've got to be able to be clean, and we've been cleaner than our opponents in those situations. A certain amount of experience goes through it as well. I mean, we've got a lot of players that are really experienced, and then our young players that aren't quite as experienced. They have an unbelievable amount of confidence in themselves. I don't even remember what question you just asked me, or if I even answered it, but, or whether I feel like the debate from last night. Hopefully you guys don't feel like that.
There's a lot of season ahead, and yet there's a new poll coming out today.
Mm-hmm.
And presumably you'll be in a place where this program has never been in its history.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean, and is it more burden or honor? Put it in context.
It's not a burden, and is it an honor? I don't know. Maybe but it's literally when you've got Minnesota in front of you, a Final Four team that is returning 6 of 7, like I said, a team that won the Big Ten. You better really be spending very little amount of attention on that. It's a non-factor because of what we've got to do, what's in front of us. That's probably where it's at. I mean, it's just nothing. We won't even talk about it in practice, whether it is, because we don't talk about it no matter when we've been unranked and when we've been second or 12th or whatever. We don't ever talk about it. Is that a ball game right now? Is there a score on that? Yeah. It's all good. He sounded well.
Anything else for Coach? Oh,
To beat Minnesota, what do you have to do well?
We got to play clean because they play clean. We've got to be aggressive behind the service line, because their tempo is really, really effective. I mean, they're really quick, and if they're able to have all their options, if the ball's at the 10-foot line and closer, they're just going to have our defensively, we're a pretty good defensive team, but we're going to have a really tough time with their speed if they're able to go quick. So number one, I think it starts with that. It always comes down to a serve pass game. It's two really good setters. It's two really exceptional setters, and if they're going to be able to have their options available more than the other side, it's going to be a huge advantage. And so it's kind of funny. It's almost no matter who you play, it usually comes down to a serve pass game. But because of their speed and tempo, it certainly feels like that probably more than most matches here.
Yeah, your serve pass game was up and down against Illinois. When it was really good, you were good, and then it went bad. Was it rotations, personnel? Was it Illinois served better at times when you weren't passing well?
Yeah, we were diming it in the first set, and hit for a really high percentage. And then I thought they started serving a lot more aggressive. They were really driving us. I didn't think we were doing a really good job of passing the deep ball. We're going to certainly work on that the next couple of days. But I thought we got better with that as the match went on. But I think it was a combination. I thought we were rushing our passes. We weren't moving our feet real well. I thought those guys picked up their serving quite a bit. after that first set. Certainly that had to be an emphasis because we were passing the ball pretty well to start out with. And then I thought as the match went on, our passing got quite a bit better. I thought we were holding our passes and moving a lot better. But usually when you're passing well and all of a sudden it doesn't, usually it's just not passers that are just tuning out. That's rarely what is happening. Usually there's an adjustment, either a matchup difference, which there wasn't, or a serving strategy that is different. And in that case, I thought there was. They were driving it a little bit more, and it just took us a little bit to make the adjustment we needed to.
Diane, in the back.
Now that you have a lot of healthy outside hitters, you've been switching up the lineup a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you kind of figured it out, or still a work in progress?
The season, I think, is a work in progress. We haven't got anything figured out. It's a strength of our team. If different people can do different things, we were able to make a switch in that Illinois match that I thought really kind of helped us out. And it wasn't because anybody was playing poorly. It was more of, all right, what do we need to do this match to win? And let's put out the personnel and the positions where that can happen. And not just depth, but flexible depth, I think, is what we have. People can play different positions, and I'm certainly blessed in that area to be able to have that. Now, the key for us as coaches is be able to, are the players buying in, which they have up to this point, and you want to make sure that they're not losing confidence from, one match they're playing quite a bit, and then they're playing a little bit less. We've got to be great communicators to them, and that's, if we can communicate well, these guys will be able to buy in. They won't lose any confidence. But it's certainly you like having people coming back off the injured reserve list. That's for sure. Thank you.